Welcome to the Austrian Grand Prix preview and predictions for 2026. So it's going to be a very interesting one. Coming up from a very beautiful race in Barcelona, in which the 41-year-old Lewis Hamilton won his first race with Ferrari and became the oldest Formula 1 race winner in F1 30 years after his great rival Michael Schumacher won his first race with Ferrari in Barcelona. What a season we are having. A 19-year-old kid in Kimi Antonelli leading the Drivers' Championship in the Mercedes. Will it be another race for Ferrari to show how potent they are? Or will it be another race for Lewis Hamilton to say, hey guys, I am here? Or will Kimi Antonelli be able to come back and say, well, Mercedes know that they have a problem, but they are going through it. They'll find a way around it. They'll keep challenging and they are back. Will the FIA grant the ado opportunity for Ferrari to bring up their upgraded engine, in which we heard they will be bringing up an upgrade to the engine that will worth about 5 horsepower. Later we heard it's 15 horsepower. Now they are bringing a shell fuel that has been worked on to give them sustainability and give them more power. Little upgrades to make sure they are able to get closer to the Mercedes and the McLaren that are leading them. Also, will it be a one-off for Ferrari, or will they be able to change their fate decisively this season with these upgrades they are bringing? McLaren are saying no, they are tired of working as a works team. This is not working for them. Oh no, this, that. Probably they want to go the way of Red Bull, or probably they are going the way of Aston Martin. Well, anyway, you know the way Red Bull went, they became the best engine manufacturers. Though they are saying no, how can they be the main engine manufacturer with the most potent engine while Mercedes are leading? One of the things is that they are forgetting that it's not about the engine, it's not about the aerodynamics. It is all about the two and the driver merging together. The engine, the aerodynamics, and the driver merging together. They have the driver, they have the engine, they don't have the aerodynamics again, in which they've had before. They have one of the best aerodynamics for over 10 years. That's why they've kept up with the grid. But unfortunately now they don't have it. So what will they do? We have McLaren still saying they want to go on their own. But on the Aston Martin side, Aston Martin went to Honda and it has been a downward spiral for them. Even somebody is suggesting that Aston Martin should join the F2 Championship. Maybe they will win. If they win the F2 Championship, they can be promoted back to F1, because the engine and the chassis they have is due and dim for F2, because Cadillacs look like a better team than them. Anyway, I'm not arguing, I'm not saying much, but if Cadillac that is a new team looks much like a better team than Aston Martin, and better team they are, it's going to be difficult for Aston Martin in Austria. If Aston Martin brings a more cooling fin in Austria, they might not really be going anywhere, because that car will be so slow. Yes, they need to cool down the engine. Either the car is so slow or they don't finish the races. What a race is going to be for them. Cadillac are moving up, but it's very difficult for them. Reliability issues, the car, they are still learning. A new team in F1 is difficult for them. You can say, yeah, Audi is a new team. Audi is not a new team. Audi has been in F1 for a long time. It's just changing name and changing management. So it's not that Audi is a new team. Audi is a new management, managing and whole team that has been in F1 for a long time, and they brought their engine. They are an engine supplier. They've been an engine supplier for a long time, but they went away. Now they are coming back to F1. So how do they perform? They are performing very, very well. You can't know that Audi is just bringing up their engine, because that engine looks very, very reliable. Where and how does this weekend make fun? Going to west of Graz in Austria at the Spielberg Arena. The 2026 Austrian Grand Prix is going to be seasonal. Now let's break it down. 10 whooping tons. You don't have DRS zones again. We have overtaking zones, and some of those zones are curvy 70 degrees. That's a 70, 90 degrees. Some are even about 110 degrees of turn. A lot of mistakes the drivers can make. Very fast middle postseason corners and angled corners, in which I think Ferrari are having much of the weight over everybody. On the corners, Ferrari will be fast. Probably if they are granted the ado, Ferrari might look faster. But Mercedes are not going to sit back and say, oh no, we lost, oh this will be the 45th time it will be held in Austria. They started in 1963. So Mercedes are not going to take it lightly and be like, no, we are not that good, because they have the better package. Mercedes are going to fight. To be a fight for their life, because Russell looks like a coming back driver, meanwhile Antonelli looks like a leading driver. So what can happen? The driver with the most wins, Max Verstappen, 4 wins in Austria, including 1 sprint. Ferrari and McLaren are both sharing the constructors' win with 7 each. A circuit of 4.326 kilometers, that's a 2.688 miles. A race length of 307.018 kilometers, making it one of the fastest races of the season. 71 whooping laps. laps. It's not going to be easy. Lando Norris winning last year, his teammates coming second. It was not a very easy race for Lando Norris last year. It was a race of his life. Carlos Sainz could not start the race. Kimi Antonelli knocked Max out of the race last year. The two McLarens were fast and they were fighting. It was a massive fight and it was very interesting. Alex Albon also returned to the garage and never came out. Reliability issues. Tsunoda and Colapinto, they were a masterclass of gbas in which Yuki Tsunoda got about 5 seconds penalty for his effort in that entertainment. We had Lando having one of the best races of his life after the fight with his teammate Oscar Piastri. Oscar coming second, Charles Leclerc coming third, Oscar having the fastest lap of the race. Lewis Hamilton, loving that track, he came fourth. Russell fifth. Liam Lawson, a great race for him, in sixth. It was not so easy. In 2024, the Alpines gave us maximum gbas as they were mourning over the race, with Ocon and Pierre Gasly saying, no, we are not going to collect for ourselves. Ocon knew he was going to Haas already. Gasly knew he was going to be the prince of Alpine. So we saw them doing their gbas. Unfortunately, Max Verstappen and his friend, his jolly good fellow friend, Lando Norris, had their own gbas in which took the two guys out, and Lando Norris got 5 seconds for his own effort in that entertainment that we had, because he had the fastest car, but Max Verstappen understands placement of the car. He has a fast car and he also understands something, how to use the rule books. So he used it against, gave him a 5-second penalty, but unfortunately two of them were unable to complete the race, which was sad, very sad. Then we had Toto saying, Russell, this is your race to win. This is your race to win. George Russell won the race. Oscar Piastri came second. Carlos Sainz third. Hamilton fourth again. He loves that track and he loves being fourth. The track he has always cherished. With the resurgence of the Ferrari, let's see what they can do. In 2023, a lot of penalties. Even after the race, there were penalties. Penalties meant the whole race had to be restructured. As in, after the race, they had to start giving penalties again for us to know what the finishing or the order of the race was after about 3 hours after the race, because it was penalties, basketballs all through. We had Verstappen winning, Leclerc, Perez, Sainz, and Norris. It was a good race for them, but the 2023 was much more an highlight, because in Austria you get the highlight, the best highlight you want to get. 2022 we had Carlos Sainz with his engine out in Ferrari. What a hard one for him. Charles Leclerc won the race, Verstappen second, Lewis Hamilton third, Russell fourth. They were in Ferrari, Lewis and Russell. Ocon had the great of his life in fifth. One of the things with the Austrian Grand Prix is that they had the altitude, little they hear the car can get in, which makes it one of the hottest races of the season. But as hot as it will be it as it may, the track temperature will be going for about 50 to 70 degrees that day. That's how hot it's going to be on the track that day. It's not for the weak, it's for the strong. And the track temperature will be going between 40 and 50 degrees, probably going to the 60 degrees. Dry, summer, sunny race. They are in summer around Europe. The track is a very interesting track, not so abrasive, probably a 1-stop or 2-stop. Pirelli will bring in their softest tires to the track, which will be C3, C4, C5, C3 as the hardest, C4 as the medium, and C5 as the softest. It will be very interesting to see how they are able to use the strategy, but we are going to be having temperatures of about 30 degrees to 40 degrees as the weather temperature, because it's going to be like an heat wave massaging their body. Very interestingly, I know when the engines are roaring, the heat is there. That's what makes the track temperature to rise. So not much degradation certainly, but because the track is not so abrasive, the track is mild and very gentle. But you are going to have a very interesting race in the sun, no rain, and also this weekend no sprint race. It makes it more free, more interesting. All through the weekend you are going to be having a favorite wind, temperature, and the favorite race. Austrian Grand Prix has always been most times for the Red Bull, because it's their home race, so they love the race. How they find it out this season, probably with upgrades, trying to show their fans, because it's the home race of Red Bull, that they are still here. For the Mercedes, I think they should have had a plan on how to get back on top and how to see themselves not doing the basketballs that they love to do, but having a very interesting and sensible race. And for Ferrari, let's hope their resurgence is able to work for them. Will Charles Leclerc be fully copying Lewis Hamilton and copying his driving style? That will be difficult, but let's see what and how he handles that, because he needs a full resurgence and we need more competition. And what happens to Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri and McLaren team? We would know if they are able to get back from not so much disaster, but a difficult weekend in Barcelona for them. Alpine, one of the teams of the season, they and Audi, they are giving a fight for it, but the Racing Bulls looks ahead of them, and the Racing Bulls certainly looks ahead of their elder sister, that is the Red Bull. They look ahead of them because they are racing better than them. They are having tremendous race. Probably they should change cars. The Red Bull team should get the Racing Bull team's car, and the Racing Bull should get Red Bull team's car, so that they can have a good race this season, so that the Red Bull will not cry after the whole shenanigans of the season, because because it's going to be a tough one for them, because it's already looking like a tough one for them. And this is putting Max Verstappen in a difficult situation about his contract with Red Bull, because it looks as if Red Bull are confused. They are running helter-skelter to see how they can make sure, even if he leaves, he doesn't leave them naked. Probably they will get naked, because they're not looking like Max Verstappen is happy. It's not looking like that. And if Max Verstappen is not happy, it means they have to run. They have to make sure they get it right. So all through their HQ, they are running up and down to make sure everything looks very, very interesting for them. But for me, I think everybody is gone. Max Verstappen, and if they all leave, they start all over again. And starting all over again gives them the room to learn and to become better. So why not just face it? But Austria will give us so many answers to so many questions. Up until Austria for the first practice and second practice. I love you guys. Thank you so much for always being part of this podcast. I love you. Bye. Cheers.